Okay, there's this guy who's pretty much building, yeah, it says overcomplicated with Dominic. But I like his other name better, so Dedicated to Living in the Past. He's building a video recorder out of a ghetto blaster and some kind of industry motor to pull the tape. Looks like this.
I'm kind of scared. So yeah, okay. Let's just do the thing. I'll around, and now I can get it out, but I don't want to right now.
He's now playing back a recording that he made. And that's a recording of a Nintendo playing Tetris or something. It does look more like audio to me though. But yeah. So what he's doing is pretty much a ghetto Frankenstein version of Vera. That's Vera. It's the world's first video recorder. Came out in 1952. There it is next to a human for comparison. A banana may only be a few pixels wide on this picture, so no standard banana there. So these reels are huge. They hold 15 minutes because, just like his version, the heads are stationary and the tape spins at insane speeds. I think it was 18 kilometers an hour or something. My little experiment, I will be using a Commodore 64 as a signal generator.
You think your Commodore 64 is really neato? What kind of chip you got in there? A Dorito?
Yes, Mr. Yankovic, I think my Commodore 64 is really neato. So I use the front hookup. There's still some color there. That's because, yeah, there's video information in the audio signal. There's color information in the monochrome video signal. Is at a high enough frequency, everything is an antenna. So let's see what we can get. So the first thing is we have with this stuff we have a bandwidth of around 500 kilohertz to 1 megahertz. Except down here, we're a little closer to like 3-4 megahertz, and if we want color, we need at least 4.5 megahertz. So 5 megahertz would be a good bandwidth. And we're not even gonna get this far. I mean, this is a tape deck. It's like if it's a really good tape deck, you can get like 25 kilohertz, and usually the manual says like 18. 20, that's the limit. The manual for this one actually says 26. Oh, well, let's see. Let's find out. Starting with a pass-through. There's not even a tape in here. And we see nothing at +4. However, if I crank the levels just a little bit more, or increase the brightness to the maximum, you can just make it out. And if I crank this even more, here it comes. But it starts to distort. But yeah, look, it's readable. Well, except for the bottom line, which this might be a couple of kilohertz. So the problem is we're not gonna get tape that. Oh wait, do we have metal? Oh no, wait. Here's the problem. For some, the internal tape type switches are broken, and so I made an external. That one doesn't work either. It's stuck on type 1 tape. Also, this thing is screwdrivered to hell and back. What did we do? What did I do? Sorry for the knee. I made a little contraption that can amplify video signals somewhat. It sucks, but it works well enough to do the task. It has two inputs and two outputs. We get to what the blue ones are for. The green ones are just an amplifier. We get to the blue ones later. Looks like through the homemade video amplifier, which, you know, it isn't a video amplifier. This chip was specifically not made to be a video amplifier. But I can choose between... Oh wow. You can barely read it, barely not read it. It's like it's totally washed out. It's too much amplitude, but yeah, you can make out the basic there. It's still that I've overwritten. Yeah. So not entirely useless. You still get an image. Two problems already. For one, I have scrolled part of the message out of the screen, and if you combine the tape deck and the homebrew amplifier, it looks like this. If I screwdriver it, I can only make it worse. It's still unreadable. This is like, here's kind of something, and if I invert it, it doesn't look... Oh wait, you can just barely make out world. Yeah, let's take that. Let's see what happens if we run a tape through it. And that's what comes back from the tape. I should have made it animated. Crank the level up. It's drowning out. This is a 3-head deck, so I can see my own recording while it's recording. You only get that on very, very expensive VCRs, and you won't find one of them in your home. I'm probably asking, how does it look if I leave that thing out? Or just, you know what, screwdriver the thing, see if I can make anything visible here. But I think I don't even have... I don't even think I have horizontal sync. I do seem to have vertical sync because the lines are staying where they are. And if I scroll my message out of the screen even more... Huh. Oh wait, hey! It's actually scrolling. So the problem is my message is gone now. Let's see how it looks like from a direct feed. And the answer is... nothing. So what else can we do? We can use I know this monitor blanks the screen entirely if it thinks there's no video signal. So we need a monitor that's even dumber. That's what I'm getting. Even worse. And speaking of oversaturated, funny thing is, if I just reduce the level just a little, the top line disappears, which is the brightest one of all. Oh, that's probably distortion. I guess that's distortion, not even part of the picture. Got some nice copper bars, though. Really good for a Commodore 64. Let's go back to... Oh, this is our MLE. Alright, I forgot. I'm running it through my contraption, which totally distorts the picture. So that made it pretty much useless. It's on screen right now. Let's try this deck. That's what I get if I crank the levels all the way up. Just even horizontally lock. And no, the tape is not going to be able to handle this. And if I just turn it down a little, the screen goes away completely. Let's see how bad my contraption makes it. There has nope. Although that looks like it has some bandwidth to it. Or this here. But that might also just be a shadow. I mean, a ringing in the signal, you know. if you distort an analog signal, or even a digital, enough, you get ringing. So if I crank it, it does this. Let's do a recording. This is not a 3-head deck, so I'll have to give it a little bit of time. Back the old recording the other deck has made. And wow, there's something there, would you believe it? Oh, and that's this deck's recording. And you can see that there's something wrong with this deck electronically, even though the preamps seem to work alright. And that's it. And by the way, this is an English course, so this is probably not music but language you're seeing right now. But this is how that looks. There's some scientific credibility. By the way, you can see the blinking cursor here. This, from here to here, is an entire frame. These two lines here are the sync information. And so this is the video black level, and this is something that's dark gray, and this is... no, wait. Okay. Oh, no, wait. It's the border. I have the side border. By the way, I forgot to mention, this is the Commodore 64's output, so this is how it's supposed to look. So let's look at a line. So here's two scan lines. So this is one of them. Okay, so now we know how it's supposed to look. Let's take a look at the preamp. This is what a scan line looks coming from the tape deck. The Pioneer, this one. It's not running a tape. And all the squares are now triangles for some reason. So if I go back to the picture, this is how it looks. And you can see why the problem, why we have the problem with the sync information. Oh yeah. And here's an improvement possibility. If we start biasing the input signal, I mean, like biasing is doing. If you bias, like I shifted around with the Y position knob, but you can apply a bias voltage. So what's fed into the cassette deck is already shifted, because we can see that there's information. If I crank the input level, you can see that there's, if I go so low it doesn't distort. This is the level, the maximum the tape can handle. And if I crank it up, you can see that on the bottom of the line that there's all of a sudden there's extra information that gets drawn in. And here, yeah, here's where everything pretty much falls apart. This thing needs to be biased. So I guess there's gonna be a part 2. Let's put that tape back in and see how it looks like when we're playing it from tape. That's what's coming back from tape, isn't that awesome? And if I crank up the volume, it's maximum. Level is already at max. Yeah. It's kind of weird that this stuff suddenly appears. These spikes there. So let's see what... Oh no, wait, that's the output of the... Gotta see what's on the output. And that's what the output looks like. By the way, that's supposed to be 2 frames or 1.5 TV frames here. So it's a miracle this thing syncs it at all. It probably thinks these 2 dips here are the vertical sync. The reel to reel. But we have a problem already. The output is almost already cranked up and I have nothing on the screen. If I turn it up, and if I turn it up even more, I get this. Now what's kind of in an interesting move, it now looks like it looks like it's not inverting anymore. I know the picture is inverted. I know this thing inverts the picture and also introduces some very weird hum. It's not a 50 Hertz hum, it's more like a 15 kilohertz hum that's very close to, you know what could be? It could be, I know that this is picking up the TV's deflection coil. So if they're not perfectly in sync, this happens. That kind of sucks. But yeah, that's why I made the blue portion of this thingamajig, because that inverts the video signal. Does it do it any good? That looked better than I remembered it. You can see where the cursor is, well, at which line the cursor is, and you can see those weird staircase patterns that I made. You know, this where I went this pixely thingy. Problem is, of course, we don't have horizontal sync for some reason. And unfortunately this thing doesn't have a horizontal sync control. And this one has it buried in the machine. Well, so does this, but there's a reel-to-reel and a speaker sitting on top of it, so I'm not going in there. And by the way, this is just sub-brightness, that's not a horizontal hold control. But yeah, what happens if I record this? Let's try recording this. Wow, look at the fluctuations in the level. That screams for a time-based corrector. I actually have one, but I'm too lazy to set it up. I probably need a real crazy mad scientist setup where I do everything I said, like with the bias and everything. And it's got to be a nice theory of op-amps, video signals and stuff. But yeah, this is what's coming back from the tape, going back to live. This is live. That's what's coming back from the tape. If this stupid... Someone have a spray... does someone have a can of contact cleaner? And you know what? Let's try this. Let's turn off the TV, monitor. We're at 49. Let's turn it back on. There we go. And let's play it back. Does it get better without the TV on? I'm not quite sure about it. And while we're at it, let's see what happens. Oh yeah, here you can see the end of the recording. And by the way, it should be completely black, but it isn't. From the... Oh yeah, right. I wanted to find out what happens if you play it at half the speed. Look at that. This is playing at half the speed. Got some weird funky scanline thingies. This looks weird. Playing the video at half the speed. So let's rewind that and take a look at the scope. Oh, by the way, just look at this. This is the output from the playhead. And now I turn off the TV. I turn it back on. You can see how much the needle moves. Anyway, enough talking. Let's go back to the scope. It's the output from the tape. This is the vertical sync pulse. it's standing on its head. It's inverted. By the way, where's the freaking cursor? Ah! Spotted it. Wow. Hidden well, you can see it blinking at half. Okay, let's see what's coming out of my thingamajig. Absolutely the same, it's just flipped on its head. The sync pulse is now correct. And it's shifted. As I said, it's biased, it's shifted upwards. Could give you a direct feed, but I don't have the right cable, so it would be black and white with just artifact colors. So I'm just filming off the screen here. Pause that. Okay, we can always knock it up a notch. The 1961 tube stereo Grundig TK-46. Problem is, which one of these has the output signal? Well, I want to use the 50-50 joker and switching this thing from stereo to mono. Now the cool thing is I can now play back, since these are both 4-track machines, and they're therefore compatible to each other, we can play this machine's recording back on that one and see if we can get anything on the screen. Yeah, I recorded at half the speed. And there we go, look at that. That's the other machine's recording. Yeah. This is how it sounds like, just the audio portion. See if it can be improved upon. Oh, having it in the inverted. Wait a minute. I hope you're seeing anything. Yeah, it's kind of mangling the tape. So let's rewind that. Let's see what happens if I put it in the inverted. And this looks like an inverted video signal to me. Yeah, this looks like an inverted video signal to me. Or if you can see anything at all. The Grundig is, at least on playback, not inverting the video signal. This is great. Yeah. Commodore 64 is turned off right now. Can we record, however, I have the level set to 0, to the absolute minimum, and there's still signal getting fed through. This is an old DIN machine. It requires way lower levels, input levels, and the video output levels are absolutely overloading this deck's input amplifier. So there's even one more thing I need to do, and that's making the signal weaker so this machine can record it. And I'd say that's it.